Welcome to this special edition of the Wellness Lounge, where we'll speak to Janice Smiley, Director of Perinatal Health at the Alabama Department of Public Health. In this episode, we will explore the state of maternal and infant mortality in Alabama and its impact on our communities of color and rural areas across the state. It is a fascinating conversation you don't want to miss. So sit back, relax, and get ready for real talk in the Wellness Lounge.
Come meet best-selling author and integrative health and wellness expert, Dr. Tiffany Taft at Mac Author Spotlight, a free virtual book discussion on Saturday, October 10th at 10 a.m. via Zoom, presented by the Montgomery Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. You'll hear from 5 local women authors whose books cover a range of topics. To register and receive your link to attend the event, just go to www.montgomeryalumni.org. That's the Mac Author Spotlight on Saturday, October 10th at 10 a.m. via Zoom.
On today's show, we have with us Janice Smiley, Director of Perinatal Health at the Alabama Department of Public Health as a division of the Bureau of Health and Family Services. And I'm so excited to have her on the show with us because I find it timely to discuss the importance, or to continue the discussion really, around maternal fetal health and well-being. And so specifically in Alabama, I am so excited to learn what is happening here in the state, specifically maybe Montgomery even, but we'll dig deeper into some of the questions and challenges we are seeing here within our state. All right, so my first question for you, thank you again so much for being with us. Tell
Thank
the
you for
audience,
having me.
you are so welcome. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what is it that you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I am the Perinatal Health Division Director for the Alabama Department of Public Health. I'm an Alabama native, so my day-to-day actions is really revolve around improving health for mothers and babies, thus families, looking at factors that impact them and trying to implement, identify, research strategies to make birth and health outcomes better.
Okay, and how did you actually get into perinatal health? Because you are a nurse yourself, so did you start out in
I
perinatal
am.
health or did you start out doing something else?
That is a very interesting question because when I finished nursing school, I grew up in Selma and there was a little hospital called Vaughn and it's still there, but they only had one opening. And that opening was in their OB, in their nursery. And I was like, I don't want to work in the nursery. I don't want to work there. Well, I started there, and that was the beginning of my career in maternal and child health.
Wow.
Love it and have never left. And that's been over 35 years ago.
See, sometimes those boxes that life puts us
Yes,
in turns out to be the best thing that happened to us.
absolutely, absolutely, I agree.
So I imagine then over your career span, then you've seen a variety of growth in the maternal fetal space, but also some
Mhm.
challenges specifically here in the state of
Yes.
Alabama. So can you tell us, first
Mhm.
of all, tell everyone what exactly is perinatal health and why is it important? Challenges that you may have experienced over the years within your career and
Okay.
any opportunities you see in the space.
Okay, wow, that's a loaded question. Perinatal health is actually the health of the mom before, during, and up to a year after pregnancy. And so those things that impact that woman's health also impacts the health of that infant. So when we look at perinatal health, we often want to look at just that year before and during pregnancy up to a year after pregnancy, but we really need to look much, much earlier. The impact and the things and the factors that impact that mother's health actually begin when the mother's in the womb herself. So the care that the mother's mother received or did not receive, the access to education, the access to higher income, the community in which that mother lived and grew up in, the, the community, the society that in which that family grows impacts the health of that mother. So when that mother begins to have children, her children are actually impacted by all those things that happen. There's a term that we talk about, the life course perspective, and that just simply means the things that happen in my life from utero will impact me until the day that I die. So all of those things cumulatively will have an effect in my health as well as my mental and physical outcomes. So it's so important that we begin to focus on perinatal health for moms as well as fathers, making sure that there are risk factors that they have at those early parts of their life, changing them into protective factors so that when they become men and women of childbearing age, they'll have better outcomes. So looking at what we can do as a state to address some of the challenges that our citizens face. I grew up in Selma, as I said, rural community. So in Selma, you don't have many jobs, and those jobs that you do have, they're not high-paying jobs. And those jobs that you do have, you may have insurance, you may not have insurance. Having access to insurance improves your access to quality health care. You may have a job where you do have insurance, but they may not pay you for sick days. So when you get sick, what do? You still have to continue to go to work because you need your pay. So it's supporting those families so that they can have the things that they need to improve not only their perinatal outcome, but their life outcomes over time. So those challenges of jobs, those challenges of communities in which they live in. Education is a challenge. Mm-hmm. Having access to quality education makes a huge difference. Access to quality health care. You can have access to health care, but may not be quality. And even making sure that they have access, because as a mother, if I have mental health issues and need to address them, but there's only one provider in this county, and this provider can't see all of the patients that need mental health. So I may want to get those services, but how do I get those services? Taking 6 months to be seen is not going to address the need when I have the need. So as a community, making sure we have those things that a community needs to thrive, making sure we have grocery stores that have fresh fruits and vegetables so that we can have access to those healthy foods that we need if I choose to eat those things. And so it's a community coming together to do what we can to improve health and outcomes for mothers and babies, thus improving generations, thus making Alabama a better Alabama.
And we'll be right back with more conversation with Janice Smiley.
Want to spotlight your church, business, or organization? Reach your target audience, raise awareness, or broaden your reach? The Wellness Lounge offers several business opportunities across all our platforms, including television, digital, online, and on-show appearances. television is still an excellent way to connect customers to your business, and digital offers opportunities to scale your brand and reach customers in a way that is in real time and increasingly personal. Plus, it's more affordable than you think. The Wellness Lounge offers affordable options for business and organizations of any size. Right now, we have special advertising rates for all new advertisers now through the end of the year who are interested in advertising their business or services, church, school, nonprofit group, or community events in the show or across our digital platforms. Come see why advertising on the Wellness Lounge is a great way to grow your business. Lock in a great rate today. For more information about advertising opportunities on the Wellness Lounge, email the Wellness Lounge at info@drtiffanytaft.com or visit our website at drtiffanytaft.com.
During this time, as we're recording, we're still in the midst of a pandemic, and we have mothers that are having to birth during COVID-19. And so the normal ways, if you will, before, we'll say pre-COVID, of care and how, they're going into their birthing situations looks very different today. And so their whole mindset, their anxiety, family support or not, looks very different today than it did 4, 5, 6 months ago. And so I love what you said about the woman's health care starts prior to the pregnancy, and it comes from past wounds and traumas and poor decisions or uneducated decisions, because we don't know what we don't know. And when we know better, we can do better. And so I think it is important that we as women, from young girls, are able to do the best when we know with the information that we have, so that we can take care of our bodies. So when we become of childbearing age, when it's time, we won't hopefully have all these issues that come into play. And when things like a COVID-19 comes out, we are better equipped physically and emotionally to deal with that on top of being pregnant, because we know there's, being pregnant, your hormones are all over the place. And so it's a natural process, right? And so on top of that, putting a thing like COVID, and it's really an unsure time for everyone, but for mom who really needs a support team there outside of those doctors and nurses in the hospital, it's important. And so how do we manage through that?
So true.
Thank you for that. So leading into that, because I always like to educate my public with some statistics or the science, if I can, where appropriate, because I think it's important to know the numbers. And, the numbers come and they're from a certain period of time and a certain viewpoint, but science is science. There is evidence in the science, and Alabama has not always fared well. And I did look at some numbers going back, I think, to 2016 up through 2018. And while we have improved in that space, we are still, I believe, number 3 in the nation of poor maternal and fetal mortality. So while there, is some improvement, we're still not in the going in the right direction, but not as well as we should be. So can you speak to any of those numbers, and if you've seen any disparities amongst African-American community versus other people of color or our white counterparts? Have you noticed any challenges or disparities in that space?
Absolutely. When we talk about numbers for maternal health, we have data that we're trying to really come together and confirm when we talk about maternal deaths. We know that we have about 60,000 births approximately a year, and 60% of those births are to white women, 30% are to Black women, and the other 10% make up the other races that are a part of our state. And so when we look at that, we look at our maternal mortality. And so the latest data that we have that has been confirmed is that there were 36 maternal deaths in 2016, and the racial disparity is somewhere 3 to 4, being that women of color died 3 to 4 times more frequently than white women. And then the counterpart to that is infants, because the mothers and babies go together. So when we look at our infant mortality, and that's these numbers we have been studying for years. And so we have more data that is confirmed, and I can talk a little bit more about that. For infants in 2018, which is the latest data that we have, our infant mortality rate is that of 7.0 deaths per 1,000 live births here in the state, which is equivalent to 405 infant deaths. And when we look at that, there is a racial disparity there as well, because for every one white baby that is born, that dies, there are 2 Black babies. Mm-hmm. So there are racial disparities there. So what are the reasons why there are disparities? There are many, many factors many theories about there, but there are also, when you look at it, there are some glaring facts that just stare you in the face, and you just have to acknowledge they are what they are. And I was attending a webinar, I guess a couple of months ago, and he was saying, well, really, when we look at disparities and we really try and identify what they are, what the cause of the disparities, what are the causes of the disparities? And so we said racism really is the cause. When you looking at it, the only difference is that of race, then racism itself is the reason why we have these disparities. So when we look at disparities, again, talking about all those factors that impact the overall health, you look at communities in which you have that are predominantly Black communities. They don't have high-paying jobs. They don't have grocery stores. The education in those communities are not high rate or of high quality. If there are healthcare providers, having access to them and the quality access is limited if there are providers there within there. And so systemic racism continues to impact our outcomes as a people, and it just is what it is. And until we address that, I don't think we can really begin to identify what can be done as a state to make things better.
Thank you so much for joining. We have just begun to scratch the surface on this in-depth conversation around infant and maternal mortality within our community. Please join us on episode 2 as we continue the discussions around examining the roots and how we can make a difference as being a part of the change. Welcome to the Wellness Lounge. In this segment, we will talk about the daily drop. What is the daily drop, you may ask? Well, it's the segment in which we talk about the many uses and benefits to using essential oils. Do you suffer from stress, anxiety, mood swings? Are you irritable? Do you find trouble keeping focus? Well, I have 2 oils that are great for bringing about calm, balance, and peace with just a daily drop. So before I tell you about the oils of the day,
Let me tell you 3 ways in which you may use these oils. You can ingest them, you can inhale them, and you can place them topically on the skin. Now, a word of caution. What I'm sharing about these oils, I am only attesting to the therapeutic grade resolution of the doTERRA brand of oils. For any other oils that you may purchase from other businesses, whether it's on or off market, I cannot attest to the great therapeutic grade of those oils or how you may use them. But in general, in aromatherapy and the use of essential oils, most people are going to be inhaling them or using them topically or just simply placing them in a diffuser. All right, so today I will be talking to you about lavender and frankincense. So if you're someone that suffers from stress, anxiety, loss of thought, confusion, just feel anxious a lot of the times, then these 2 oils are a great complement to add to your essential oil regimen. When in doubt and you're not sure what oil to use, I always say these are my favorite go-to oils. Super powerful, each one of them individually, and mega powerful when you use them together. So I typically would use the lavender oil at night when I'm trying to go to bed and I need to really relax and invoke a deep therapeutic sleep, a restful sleep I call. So we often go to bed and we will go to sleep, but we don't often have restful sleep. And so there are times when my schedule is super busy, I don't know about you, and I need that extra support in getting to that truly relaxed space where I can calm down and my body can rest. Because did you know, the only time the body heals is when it's allowed to rest. And every hour on the hour, our body is doing a separate process, all in the support of making sure that we are being whole and being kept at peace. And so if any one of those steps have to be skipped, then something in the process is being missed. And one of those most critical things is for us to get rest. We'll talk more about what's happening every hour on the hour in another segment. The second oil that I'd like to introduce is frankincense. Frankincense is known as the king of oils. Why is that? Well, again, it's one of those oils when you're not really sure what to use. Frankincense is a great oil that covers just about, if not, every single condition that you can potentially think about. Remember, when you're using essential oils, this is not a replacement for your traditional Western medicine medications. These are considered to be botanical herbal supplements. And so these are in support of the natural processes that our body will go through. The frankincense oil, the king of oils, I typically would use with clients that are dealing with major stress disorders, psychological disorders, that have a lot of anxiety, may have a lot of pain, may have a lot of stressors in their life. And so they're looking for ways in which to support their healing. I use this with my massage clients as well as my yoga clients, but mostly in massage when I'm incorporating body work, massage, and energy work with them. This frankincense invokes a deeper, more meditative sleep. Now, a caveat to this oil, I have noticed when I use it with those clients that are exceptionally in a space of needing more balance, needing less stress or anxiety, while they get a restful sleep, I have also had the experience of them telling me that it can invoke nightmares or night terrors, depending on just how sensitive their systems are. Now, don't let that deter you because it is super powerful. You don't need a lot of this oil nor the lavender, just a drop or two to get the most enhanced benefits. Now, the last thing I will say about these oils is that in combination, they are a mega powerhouse of healing. You have antibacterial, antimicrobial, you have immune support, you have stress relief, you have detoxing, you have balance and peace. So many things all encompassed in the frankincense. In the lavender, you have all of those plus calm, relaxation, balance. And this oil I would recommend at bedtime, but you certainly could use it at any point during your day. So if you have any questions and you're not really sure where to start on your journey with the essential oils, please feel free to like, share, and comment on any of our social media pages. And I will be happy to set up a consult with you and start you on your welled oil life. So if you'd like more information, please visit our website at www.drtiffanytaft.com and visit the Wellness Boutique.
Want to appear on the Wellness Lounge with Dr. Tiffany Taft? Email the show at info@drtiffanytaft.com. Or you can hit us up on Facebook or Instagram at Dr. Tiffany Taft, or visit through our website at www.drtiffanytaft.com. And to view past shows, visit us on our YouTube channel at Dr. Tiffany Taft. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Thank you so much for visiting us at the Wellness Lounge. And remember, please like, share, comment, and follow on all social media platforms. You may visit our website at www.drtiffanytaft.com and follow us on YouTube at The Wellness Lounge with Dr. T, and of course on Facebook and Instagram at Dr. Tiffany Taft. And as always, be well and be informed.